The Zephyrians had ruled the galaxy for 10,000 years, their crystalline forms pulsing with energy that could reshape matter at will. They commanded fleets of ships that bent spacetime like putty, wielded weapons that could extinguish stars, and possessed technology so advanced it seemed like pure magic to lesser species. Across 1,000 worlds, trillions of beings knelt before them, offering prayers and sacrifices to their divine overlords. Commander Thexara floated in her command chamber aboard the flagship Eternal Dominion, her translucent body crackling with amber light as she gazed upon the newest addition to their empire. A small blue world, orbiting an unremarkable yellow star. The primitive beings there called it Earth. These humans, she spoke, her voice reverberating through the crystal lattice that served as her vocal cords. They refuse to acknowledge our divinity. How curious. Her lieutenant Vexmore dimmed his luminescence respectfully. My goddess, they are but insects. Their ships are crude metal constructs powered by chemical reactions. Their weapons throw simple projectiles. Surely they will submit once they witness our power. Thexara's form brightened with amusement. Indeed, prepare a demonstration. Destroy one of their orbital stations, make it spectacular. They will learn to worship us as all others have. The human space station Unity 7 hung in orbit above Earth, a modest structure of steel and composite materials housing 300 souls. When the Zephyrian dreadnought decloaked beside it, the station's crew watched in stunned silence as beings of living light emerged from vessels that defied every law of physics they understood. Captain Sarah Chen stood on the station's observation deck, her weathered face grim as she watched the alien display of power. The Zephyrians had appeared throughout human space simultaneously, their message broadcast in perfect English, Mandarin, Spanish, and every other human language. We are your gods now, kneel. The demonstration began with a single gesture from Thexara. Reality twisted around Unity 7, the station's hull beginning to fold in on itself like origami. Screams echoed through the corridors as gravity shifted and atmosphere began to vent. But Captain Chen didn't kneel. Instead, she keyed her comm system. All hands, this is the captain. Remember what makes us human. In the engineering bay, Chief Petty Officer Marcus Torres didn't pray to the crystalline beings outside. He grabbed his toolbox and began rerouting power, working even as the deck plates buckled beneath his feet. In the medical bay, Dr. Yuki Tanaka didn't cower. She helped evacuate the wounded, carrying them to safety as reality warped around her. Throughout the station, 300 humans faced impossible odds and chose defiance over submission. They couldn't stop the station's destruction, but in their final moments they did something the Zephyrians had never encountered in 10 millennia of conquest. They fought back with nothing but determination and ingenuity. Torres managed to overload the reactor core just as the station's structure collapsed. The explosion was primitive by Zephyrian standards, a simple fusion detonation, but it caught Thexara's ship in its radius, scorching her perfect crystalline hull and killing 12 of her crew. For the first time in her existence, a self-proclaimed goddess bled. Impossible, Thexara whispered, watching her amber life fluid drift through the vacuum. They should have submitted. They should have begged for mercy. But the humans were just getting started. Within hours, every human world buzzed with activity. They couldn't match Zephyrian technology, so they didn't try. Instead, they did what humans had always done. They adapted, improvised, and refused to accept defeat. On Mars, Dr. Elena Vasquez studied the recorded footage of Unity 7's destruction frame by frame. Look here, she told her team, pointing at the screen. Their matter manipulation follows quantum field equations, but there's a resonance frequency. If we can't overpower them, maybe we can disrupt them. On Luna, engineer Chen Wei began retrofitting mining charges with modified radio transmitters. We don't need antimatter, he told his crew. We just need to be unpredictable. And on Earth itself, Admiral Rebecca Hayes coordinated humanity's response from a bunker deep beneath the Rockies. She had served in 3 wars, commanded fleets, and lost count of how many impossible odds she'd faced. The Zephyrians were just another enemy. They think they're gods, she said to her staff. But gods don't bleed. And that thing up there? It bled. The second battle came 3 days later when Thexara's fleet moved against the Mars colonies. She expected another easy victory, another world of primitive beings falling to their knees. Instead, she found the humans waiting. The colonists had turned their mining equipment into weapons, their ore processors into bomb factories, and their habitation domes into fortresses. When the Zephyrian fleet arrived, they faced not worship, but a meteor storm of improvised explosives launched from mass drivers designed to move asteroids. The crude projectiles shouldn't have posed any threat to ships that could fold space, but each one broadcast Dr. Vasquez's carefully calculated frequencies, creating quantum interference patterns that disrupted the Zephyrians' reality manipulation. For the first time in 10,000 years, Zephyrian ships took damage from primitive kinetic weapons. How? Bexmore gasped as his destroyer shuddered under the impact of a simple tungsten rod. They're insects. They have no understanding of higher physics. No, Thexara realized with growing horror. They have something else, something we've forgotten. On the surface of Mars, Dr. Vasquez coordinated the defense from a bunker that had been a geology lab just days before. Explosions rocked the dome above as Zephyrian energy beams struck, but she kept working, adjusting frequencies and targeting solutions. The way I see it, she told her team over the comm, they've been gods for so long they've forgotten what it's like to face someone who refuses to believe in them. The battle for Mars lasted 6 hours. When it was over, 3 Zephyrian ships lay broken on the red planet's surface, their crystalline crews shattered and dying. The humans had lost 2 colonies and 8,000 lives, but they had proven something crucial. Gods could be killed. News of Mars spread through human space like wildfire, then leaked to the galaxy beyond. Other species, enslaved and broken after millennia of Zephyrian rule, heard whispers of the impossible. Someone had made the gods bleed. Thexara fled back to her fortress world, her remaining fleet crippled and demoralized. For 10,000 years she had been worshipped as divine. Now for the first time she felt something she had never experienced: fear. In her crystal palace she replayed the battles, trying to understand how being so primitive had wounded her so deeply. The humans had no advanced technology, no energy manipulation, no power over matter itself. All they had was audacity, she whispered to the empty hall. Pure, impossible audacity. They refused to accept that gods existed, and in that refusal they had made it true. Across the galaxy, the revolution had begun. Sparked by humanity's defiance, enslaved species rose against their divine oppressors. The Zephyrian Empire, built on 10 millennia of fear and worship, crumbled in months when its subjects stopped believing. And on Earth, Admiral Hayes smiled as she read the reports flooding in from across known space. Humanity had done what it always did best. It had shown the universe that there were no gods, no impossible odds, and no force in existence that could not be overcome by ordinary people refusing to give up. The Zephyrians had called themselves deities. Humanity had simply proved them wrong.